So many years have passed. My late father basically left me this. This is a first generation iPad mini. This iPad mini was used by him to check emails and to keep up to date with his various interests, including PBS and NASA. I will forever hold on to this iPad, even after the software no longer will accept any updates. This particular iPad mini has the cellular data connection, and it's a first-gen mini because we've got the sleep-wake button, or the lock-unlock rotate switch, the volume, and you've got your power button up here. This dent here in the corner, we didn't get a case for it, and as my father, his health got worse, let's just say, and he dropped it a few times. But I mean, these dents are memories. I mean, we do have we also have a headphone jack, and on the lower part of the right hand side we've got our SIM card slot. This particular iPad mini, was primarily meant for use on AT&T in the United States, and you could not switch carriers. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually fire this thing up after 6 years. It's already turned on, actually. So let me clear some notifications out. You can see one of the problems right away is that it's, after 6 years, it's gotten pretty sluggish. But that doesn't mean that it's not overall still usable. I can still have my Apple Music library, for instance. Now you noticed there was a significant delay, but it still plays. I mean, it still plays music. So it's still, I mean, it's still, even after 6 years, it is still very, very usable. It still plays music. I can still go online with it. You've got your mobile Safari. And if you don't mind the delay, I mean, I know I keep saying this, but obviously there's going to be a delay here. I was looking at wallpapers earlier, so if we swipe, you see there is definitely a delay between the time that I swipe and the time that it actually acts, but overall it's still usable, except for when it decides to have a mind of its own, which is more often than not. One of the things that really surprised the heck out of me, though, was this. If we go into settings, right now you will see the cellular data radio is turned on, but there's no service, right? So if I go into cellular data, come in, there we go, and I select Manage AT&T Account, this iPad is 6 years old, actually 7, because we got this for my father just before the new versions came out. This was a first gen, very first original iPad mini, and you can still set up a cellular data account on this thing. It's just amazing to me that after 6 years, this is still very usable. were it not for the lag and were it not for the fact that this is stuck on an older version of iOS, if we go back to go into General and go to About, you can see I've nicknamed this Dad's Pad. But if we take a look here at the software version, 9.3.2. Now, there's a software update available for it, but it will not download. I do not know why, but it just won't. But, I mean, aside from those issues, I mean, this is still very usable. At some point, I may actually set up an account and just plop down, you know, $30 just to see how well the cellular data performs. But it's just incredible that after 6 years, this is still very, very usable as a device. One of the reasons for the sluggishness might be this 5.3 gigs of available space. I haven't yet figured out what's taking up all the space. This was primarily intended for my father as just a simple device to check emails, so I wasn't really looking to go all out on the specs. I think that if it were my own, if this were originally my iPad mini, as opposed to my father's, I probably would have gotten the 32 gig. But it's still, I mean, for basic tasks, heck, even with Facebook, it'll still work. It'll still work with Facebook. It'll still work with Messenger. But you noticed it was sluggish a bit to the point where it actually, you could count the seconds for a delay between messages received on this iPad and messages received on the iPhone that I'm recording this video on. So, I mean, other than this being laggy, which obviously it's expected of a device of this age, I mean, this is still very, very usable. Heck, I've got 938. I don't bother with my iCloud email account anymore, but I've got like 938 new messages unread. But I mean, we've got everything. I mean, take a look at this. We've even got YouTube. We can still get YouTube to run on this thing. Oh, what do we got now? Oop. Oh my goodness. Even dark mode is compatible with this? That is so weird. So let's turn that on. There we go. That's better. And now, let's do a video search here. So I'm going to put the camera down for a second and search for, let's see. So let me just turn down the volume here. But, I mean, pulls up the results.
Fourth generation just extends that lead. And it's all about helping.
As you can see, I mean, like I said, excuse me, pardon my hand. Let me turn this down. Turn this sideways. And we got the full YouTube app working on this thing. If I go into full screen mode here, okay, and I hit play. It's hard to do that on through the camera. Hold on a second. Let's see. Here we go. And as you can see, I mean, this is very, very usable. It's surprising how much, after 6 years, how usable this device actually is. I mean, it really blew me away. The thing that blew me away is the fact that I could get the cellular working on this, and I do intend to try that at some point. But this device, it's usable, but it wouldn't be a daily driver for me necessarily. It's kind of like my old iPhone 6 Plus, where I can use it in a pinch if I absolutely need to, but I probably wouldn't want to. It's the same thing with this iPad. It's still very usable overall for the basic stuff, but I'm never going to get any updates on this. And there are certain apps that are failing to work that will never run again. So it's overall, I'd say it's still very usable after 6 years. I mean, six years, and this is just a great device. And I will forever use this device as a leisure device, but also to cherish my father's memory. This will always be Dad's pad, you know? But what do you guys think? 6 years, and this is still running. I'd love to hear your comments about that. Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome, and have a nice day.